Okay, boys and girls, hello. We are going to do Mondays. This is a video for Monday's homework. This is Monday. Annotate and read the text. Remember, annotate. It says in their notes. Take notes. Okay, so the story that we're reading this week is called The Tallest. The Tallest. Some people can name the tallest building in the world. Some people know the name of the longest river. Do you know the name of the tallest trees? Redwood trees are the tallest trees on earth. They can grow as tall as a building with 30 floors. Their bark can be a foot thick. If you joined hands with 20 other children, you might be able to form a complete circle around the base of a redwood. These trees can live to be 2,000 years old. Redwood trees do not have deep roots. Instead, the roots spread out around the base of the tree. The roots of several trees weave together. This helps them to stand when strong winds blow. As a redwood tree grows, its lower branches do not get much sun. Because the leaves cannot make food without enough sunlight, the lower branches die. The leaves on the higher branches keep the tree alive. The highest branches cannot get water from the roots because the roots are too far away. The high branches must get water from the air. The air in the redwood's habitat is moist. The trees pull water from the air through their spiny leaves. A redwood tree grows from seeds like other trees. A redwood tree can also grow in other ways. A very strong wind may topple a redwood. The top of the tree snaps off. A new tree can grow from the stump that is left. In fact, a ring of trees can grow from the stump of a fallen tree. In the time of dinosaurs, redwood trees grew in many parts of the world. Now they live along the west coast of the United States. Some trees living today could be from the stumps of trees that lived 20,000 years ago. Okay? All right, now we're going to get to our rounding. Okay, so this is rounding. This is a practice sheet. It says, put it all together, round to tens and hundreds. Complete the chart below to round each number to the nearest 10 and 100. Okay, so here are your numbers. This is where you're going to start. And you are either going to be rounding to the tens or rounding to the hundreds. I should say you are rounding to the tens and you are rounding to the hundreds. Okay, so let's look at the first one. This one says round to the nearest 10. Okay, they did these for you, so we will do this one together and then you guys will do the rest. Okay, so when you're rounding to the nearest 10, you have to identify your tens. In this case, the tens is the 3. So you're going to circle this digit. Okay? Remember, this is a 4. Okay, then you're going to look to the right of your digit. Now, if this number is bigger than 5, okay, if it's bigger than 5, we have to round up. Okay, it gets bigger. If it's 5 or more, up the score. 5 or more, we up the score. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and this is more than 5. So I'm going to up the score and I'm going to leave that 4 alone because I'm not rounding that number. So I'm going to say 4. I upped the score, so that's 4. And then this one drops down to a 0. Okay, now the next place value that you're rounding to is hundreds. Okay, so now we're going to look to the hundreds. So let me erase this to not make it confusing. So now we're going to round to the hundreds. So I have ones, tens, hundreds. So I'm going to be rounding this number. Okay, look to the right. Okay. If it's 4 or less, let it rest. 4 or less, let it rest. Okay, so this is 3. That is less than 4. So we're going to let it rest. You're still going to stick with your 4. Okay, but you're going to change the rest of those to a 0. 1, 2. So that's 400. Okay, let's go to the next one. We're doing this one. So we're going to round to the nearest 10. So I have ones, my tens. Here's my tens. Okay, so we have 8. We're going to look at the digit to the right. That is 2. Okay, 5 or more, up the score. 4 or less, let it rest. Okay, this number 2 is 4 or less. So I'm going to say it's 2,580. Okay, we let this one rest. So 8 and then 0. Okay. For the next one, hundreds. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's be able to see that again. Hundreds. So we have ones, tens, hundreds. Okay, we're going to look to the right. 5 or more, up the score. 4 or less, let it rest. So this number is 8. So it is 5 or more. So we have to up this score. So therefore, we're going to have 2, 6. This changes to a 6. And then the rest are zeros. So you have 2,600. Okay, let's go ahead and do this one. This one we're going to round to the tens. So we have ones, our ones, and our tens. So we're going to round the 1. Okay, we have to look to the neighbor. That's an 8. 5 or more, up the score. 4 or less, let it rest. Okay, this is obviously 5 or more. So we're going to up the score. So it should be 6, 2, and then that becomes a 0. This number will become a 0. Okay, so let's do it with using the hundreds. Okay, so we said ones, tens, hundreds. Okay, this is a 6, so that's the number we're rounding. We're going to look to the right. 5 or more, up the score. 4 or less, let it rest. So this is 4 or less. Okay, because it's 1. It's less than 4. So we're going to let it rest. So it's going to be 6 with 2 zeros. Okay? So the rest of these numbers, remember this is the tens and this is the hundreds. And that is it. That's your Monday's homework, boys and girls.